More than halfway through the 2022 Formula One season, Lewis Hamilton has yet to secure a win, going on his longest winless streak since his F1 debut. But at the 2022 Dutch Grand Prix, he was so close to winning, and he not only lost the race, but also lost it to his arch-rival of last season, Max Verstappen. Unfortunately, the British driver didn't take the loss well, taking a verbal dig at the German manufacturer while accusing them of sabotaging his race. Toto Wolff, Mercedes team principal, has, however, now come out to respond to Hamilton's accusations. What did Lewis Hamilton say? Why did he hold them responsible for his misfortune? What was Toto Wolff's reaction? The 2022 Belgian Grand Prix served as a wake-up call for the Mercedes racing team, which was humbled after a strong performance before the summer break. Nonetheless, the British racing team was determined to return to the podium and even win a race for the first time this season at the 2022 Dutch Grand Prix. However, after the qualifying sessions at the Zandvoort circuit, the racing team's optimism skyrocketed as both Hamilton and his teammate George Russell demonstrated impressive pace and were in contention for pole position at the Dutch Grand Prix before being forced to abort their final flying laps after Sergio Perez spun at turn 13, leaving both Mercedes cars trailing and forced to back off. Regardless, Hamilton finished 4th, while Russell finished 6th, as they were both unable to improve on their initial finish. But the 37-year-old driver, however, chose to focus on the positives from the qualifying session, praising the W13's speed and even going so far as to say that the car at the 2022 Dutch Grand Prix qualifying sessions reminded him of the 2021 Formula One season when the Mercedes car was competitive enough to compete for both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships. He continued by claiming that the W13, which had struggled all season, had completely transformed and that he was very optimistic for a win at the race on Sunday because they were only a 10th behind Red Bull's RB18. It was really such a positive feeling to come from a difficult weekend, difficult result at Spa. The car has completely transformed this weekend just because of the different type of track, and to be fighting with only like a 10th between us and a Red Bull, it felt very reminiscent of good times of last year. I was really hoping maybe I could just make that little difference and potentially get ahead at the end. I was up, but whether or not it was up enough to be pole, probably not, but definitely fighting for the front row, Hamilton said. Toto Wolff, Mercedes team principal, also shared Hamilton's optimism, stating that his data showed Hamilton was faster than both Verstappen and Leclerc on his final qualifying lap before Perez's spin. However, their optimism was almost realised on Sunday until Lewis Hamilton lost his lead late in the race to Max Verstappen, who was racing in his home race. At the start of the race, both Mercedes drivers started the race on new medium compounds at the Zandvoort circuit, and by lap 48 they were both trailing Verstappen, hoping to finish on the podium. However, on the 55th lap, a yellow flag was displayed and a safety car was deployed, allowing Verstappen to pit for used softs and emerge in P3 on lap 57, but Hamilton was told to stay out on mediums rather than pit for softs in order to gain Verstappen's lead, who had come in for softs. Surprisingly, Mercedes pitted Russell softs on lap 58, so when he resurfaced, he retained 3rd place, while Verstappen moved up to 2nd place just behind Hamilton. However, before the safety car came out on lap 60, Hamilton was heard on the radio saying that it would be difficult to keep Verstappen behind him because he didn't pit for soft. And he wasn't wrong, as the Dutch driver swept past the British driver before the first corner after the green flag was waved for the restart, and unsurprisingly, his teammate Russell and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, who had also pitted for softs, followed suit, leaving the 37-year-old driver in P4. Hamilton, enraged by the turn of events, went on an expletive-laden radio rant, saying, "I can't believe you guys effed me. Can't tell you how I am." Hamilton, who was criticised for his reaction, stated after the race that he would not apologise for his passion, seeing as he knew he had lost the race before the restart. "I don't want to apologise for my passion because that's just how I'm made and I don't always get it right. I got up to 2nd, I had the hard tyre on and I was catching them and I was thinking we might be fighting for a win here and potentially a 1-2. Then, of course, the safety cars and all that came through. The freaking emotions were all over because I knew that at that point I'd lost it before the restart. I knew when everyone was on that soft tyre behind me, I knew that was it. There was no way I was going to hold them behind me, Hamilton said. Despite the British driver's rant, team boss Toto Wolff admitted that it was understandable, even going so far as to downplay the reaction, as he confirmed that while the strategy may have backfired, it was done to give them a chance to fight for a win. "We are the trash bin for the driver. It is highly emotional for the driver. You are that close to be racing for the win and then you've been eaten up, so it is clear that every emotion comes out. You, as the driver in the cockpit, you are alone and you don't see what is happening. We discussed at the moment, are we taking risks for the race win? Yes, we are taking risks." He had a tyre that was 5 laps old, the medium. Holding position was the right thing to do. At the end it didn't work out for him, but I'd rather take the risk to win the race with Lewis rather than finish second and third, Wolff said. Do you believe Lewis Hamilton's outburst was justified? What do you think of Mercedes' racing strategy? Let us know what you think in the comments section. Wolff went on to explain the risky strategy by stating that while Hamilton was ahead, they had a little bit of time, which gave them the confidence to pit Russell, because if they had pitted Hamilton for soft, they risked losing the 37-year-old driver's track position and still screwing Russell's race, and the same could be said if they pitted both drivers. He also admitted that he believed that if they had left both drivers on medium tyres, both drivers would have had a chance to finish on the podium, but they would have not had a chance to race for the win, as Hamilton did before he lost his lead at the 61st lap, and as such it was a risk worth taking. The Mercedes boss further revealed that he does not think pitting both Hamilton and Russell for fresh softs would not have worked because both drivers would have been on the same tyres and would have restarted behind Verstappen. "I think the Red Bull has so much straight line speed that all on the same tyre out there is no way we are winning. I think we can look at the positives, and this is what I just discussed with Lewis. There is so much more positive to take. Of course, second and fourth are annoying, but we felt we had a good race car here. That's what is most important, and you've got to take risks where we are," Wolff said. Toto Wolff, however, apologised for the poor strategy and stated that he would like to speak with the British driver about what happened. But Lewis Hamilton has since apologised to the Mercedes F1 team, stating that he was overcome with emotion because what happened was similar to how he lost the 2021 Formula 1 World title at the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. "I was just on the edge of breaking point with emotions. My apologies to the team because I don't remember what I said, I just lost it for a second, but I think they know it was just so much passion. I want to look at it as a glass half full. We came here, struggling from the last race, and we were fighting the Red Bulls today. We were quicker than most at many points. I think without the safety car, I think we would have been challenging them for the win at the end with the one stop, which I don't think the others could do," Hamilton said. Nonetheless, given the performance of the W13 at the Zandvoort circuit, we will be hoping that the 7-time F1 champion can finally compete for a race win in the remaining 7 races of the season. But that's not all. If you enjoyed this video, this next video on your screen is worth your time.